My honest movie review, Fear Street Part 1. There will be some spoilers. A quick overview of the story. This girl touches bones in the woods by accident after a car crash. Well, it turns out those bones belong to a witch and that they're cursed. That then causes the main characters to be chased by a bunch of monsters, including my favorite, a witch that looks a lot like Jason, until they can find a way to, lift the curse. Okay, so now review time. I'll start with what this movie did good. Notice how I'm not saying anything. Okay, I kind of like the costume design of this dude that looks kind of like Jason. But now we're going to move on to the bad and the plot holes, and this movie has a lot of it. Basically, it set up a bunch of rules that it decided it did not want to follow. For example, at one part they figure out the monsters are just attracted to her blood. Then they do something smart where they lure the monsters into a bathroom and burn them all. But the monsters come back to life shortly after being burned. Well, the next time they use the blood, they do the dumbest thing possible. They go to a grocery store, and instead of putting the blood all around the grocery store or carrying something with the blood, they put the blood directly on themselves. They run around the store trying to distract the monsters from her, who they're really after, while she goes through the process of dying so that way the witch's curse will be lifted. Which then leads to this girl being breadified, to say the least. And this guy dies as well. Then everything is alright for a while, then there's a plot twist and everything is no longer alright. And she gets possessed or something, and it turns out there's something totally different they have to do to get fully rid of the curse. Also, there's a bunch of unnecessary love scenes in this movie, but the most random out of nowhere love duo is with him and her. To me, it came completely out of nowhere and was just what is going on? But anyways, let's move on to the best and worst characters. Starting with the best, I didn't really mind him. Other than the romance thing, I didn't have any problem with him. Same with him, he was fine, except for the part where he called the zombie killer girl hot. That just was weird, but other than that, he's fine. And now the worst characters, these two. Okay, let me explain why. So everything that was happening with the monsters and stuff was her fault, right? She didn't choose to touch the bones, but ultimately it was her fault. None of this would have happened if it wasn't for her. Well, she sacrifices her life to protect her, and so does he. And after it happens, these two could not care less about them. They go and have their dream date together the day after their friend sacrificed their lives for her. How much they don't care about their friend's sacrifice really, really makes me dislike both of them. So my rating for Fear Street Part 1 is a 2 out of 10. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but if you just want to watch a slasher or something, there are hundreds of other slashers that do what this movie did, just better. Let me know if y'all want me to watch and review the rest of the Fear Street movies.